Welcome back to the Gary Goff Show here on WTTF, Cool FM 93.3 and WTTF.com. Final segment of tonight's show as we approach the final game of the regular season. The Dragons are home at 1:30 kickoff against Lake Erie College. Our pregame show will begin at 1 o'clock on Coast Country 100.9 WMJK. Let's remind the folks real quick about this here. If you're coming to the game on Saturday, bring the kids and come early. There's a Tiffin University football tailgate and community day sponsored by Tiffin University Sports Management Club and the athletic department. All kinds of stuff going on for kids. Kids will get in free, and if you get there early, you can go out and stand by the big inflatable dragon and help escort the Tiffin University Dragon football team onto the field as they get ready to battle Lake Erie College in the GLIAC season finale. Come to the Heminger Center at 11 o'clock, get out of the game for 1:30 kickoff. All right, Coach, your quarterback who has been leading the team the last few weeks, and we'll do it again this Saturday, sitting beside us. Why don't you go and introduce our next guest?
Yeah, we got Dan Pitts here. Dan has started the last 5 weeks for us and has really done a phenomenal job running the offense. I couldn't be happier, that he stepped into that role, and really wish we had him for another year, to be honest with you, because he has really grown that much as a quarterback this season. And one of his goals coming into the season was, he told me, Coach, I want to earn the starting job. And, he really did that this season and hadn't looked back. So very, very proud of him. And Dan Pitts, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Dan, thank you so much for joining us here on the program. Let's first get to know you a little bit. Tell us a little bit, what's hometown?
Virginia Beach, Virginia.
All right. Okay. A lot of folks are going to say Virginia Beach, Virginia. A little head scratch.
He's a surfer all the way.
All right.
He hadn't figured out how to surf Lake Erie in the winter yet, but he might.
That storm last week, that big storm came in. There was folks surfing those 15, 20-foot waves up there in Lake Erie. There's going to be some cold water.
Yeah, it's a little too cold for me. You got to have a thicker wetsuit for that one.
All right.
Yeah,
all right. Tell us the path. Virginia Beach to Tiffin, Ohio. How does that happen?
Well, I went to Old Dominion University. It's a D1 AA program out there. And then I knew a girl out here. And
there it is.
It wasn't just because of her. I mean, I was looking to transfer because the quarterback they had out there, he was just, I could flat out say it, he was better than me in the offense, and he was only a year ahead of me. So I told the coach that I was like, I want to play, and they're like, you're not going to play until your senior year, if that. So I was like, I just want to play. So then I started looking around, and I talked to these coaches, the coaches before Coach Goff and them got in. And they told me, they're like, yeah, we'd love to have you, come in and everything. And they didn't tell me about anything about money or anything like that. I just wanted to come in and play. And they said, yeah, I mean, our quarterback spot's wide open, and saw the season that we had. So I was like, all right, I was interested. I wanted to turn the program around just like everybody else that comes in here. So I decided to come here.
So is that girl still in the picture?
Unfortunately not. So
I thought you were going to plead the fifth right there, Dan.
I had to go there. I'm sorry.
I hope she's not watching or any listening because she might, I don't know, she might kill me.
All right. Well, you're here now. What you studying?
Business management.
Business management. What's your plans after graduation?
Like Coach Goff said, I want to be a coach, so I might stick around.
It's the next noogie
spot.
Hey, Dan, yes, definitely. I mean, Dan's going to be a great coach.
I can see that personality is kind of similar there a little bit.
He's got it. I mean, he is. It's funny at practice sometimes. He's so used to our routine. If I go 1 minute, now he didn't have a watch on. If I go 1 minute over a period, Dan's blow the horn. It's time for Skelly. And I've just gotten used to looking over. You're right, Dan. Let's go.
Don't you need a quarterback with an internal clock?
There's no question about that.
Wow. So, Dan, big game last week, man. You were 29 of 43 for 322 yards with a touchdown against a very good defense. Things seem to be clicking for you last week.
Oh, definitely. The more and more you get to playing it, the more comfortable you get with it. And, I mean, coaches come up with a great game plan, nice and simple for us. Get the balls in the playmaker's hands and just let them do something.
Well, like Marcus Barron, he got the ball in his hands quite a bit last week.
Definitely. Kid's fast. I say it every day. I see him running around. I'm just like, he's unbelievably fast. Just get him the ball.
Well, especially at the quarterback position, like Dan just said, the more and more plays you get into your belt, the game slows way down for you. And there's one thing in football that you just cannot replace, and that's game reps. Mm-hmm. And, this will be what Dan's sixth start this weekend, for him. And I think last year you had 4 or 5 starts.
Yeah.
So now he's had a season really in the offense as a starter. And you could really see it the last few weeks. I mean, he's starting to make some checks, some reads on his own. And gosh, when that happens, your offense is very dangerous.
Yeah, you looked for the press box, we mentioned a couple times during the broadcast, you looked much more confident in a couple of your throws, like where you really stepped into it and put the ball right on the money. Were you feeling that out there on the field as well?
Oh, definitely. It's just one one of those things, like you said, you can't replace game reps, and then when you're in there, you just feel more confident, and you're stepping into it, and you know that your receiver is going to be there just because you've been routinely over and over again in practice.
Well, and that was, like we spoke about earlier on the show, that was against the best defense in our conference.
Yeah.
And, it still goes back to that offensive line. I think Dan is getting more comfortable because he knows that offensive line has gotten better.
It. I was going to ask you, Dan, you've seen everybody knows how beat up this offensive line has gotten, and the youth out there right now, and you've seen it the last 5 weeks. Talk a little bit about how much that line's improved from that first game you got in to now. I mean, that probably leads to your comfort level back there.
Oh, absolutely. They've grown so much. I'm not going to lie, that first game with them, coming in there, it was a little shaky. Exactly like you said, I didn't know how they're going to be sometimes, but now it's, you can stick in there and really throw it. So.
Well, we went from, what has it been, 8 weeks ago now? Don't mention any names, Dan, because I don't want to embarrass anybody. But we went from 8 weeks ago when one of our freshman linemen had to take the field for his first ever game, trip on the basically yard line and fall flat on his face. And when that happened, I think every quarterback on the sideline, and then I think Capella was on the field at the time, all looked at me and goes, "Did you just see that?"
Yeah.
So we've gotten a lot better there. We don't even worry about that anymore because we know those boys are ready to play.
Well, the joke for a while was our guards don't even shave, right?
Yes.
That was the joke for a while, that our guards are so young. And,
one of them turned 19 last week. So
fully grown man now, for sure. Yeah.
Grown man.
So, Dad, I think I saw you one day walking a couple dogs out there on Miami Street. You a dog owner?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I've had one since I got here, since I moved here. So
excellent. That's great. I'm a dog guy myself. So when I was driving the work truck, I'm like, hey, that's Dan Pitts walking a couple dogs. I'm glad to see it. Well, a lot of college kids will get dogs. They'll sit in their apartments all the time. At least you're out there with them on a leash taking care of them. I like to see that.
Absolutely.
Is that one of your hobbies? One of the things you like to do is take care of dogs. What else you you into?
I play video games, just hang out. My best friend is James Rainey, so we do crazy stuff all the time.
I imagine he does do some crazy stuff, Coach.
Oh, they've got some pretty good stories. There's no question about that. Some are PG, some are not.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, we talked to Marcus about this. We'll ask you the same thing about the difference you've seen in this program since Coach Goff's got here, from inheriting the team he had last year to what's going on now with the young kids he's brought in, and the change in the program, the change in the attitude of the program. You've seen it. Can you feel it?
Oh, absolutely. You can just sense it, and everybody just is buying into what it was. But from when he first came in to now, it's just unbelievable. The attitudes, everybody's changing.
But you wish you had a couple more years, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He probably does, just in coaching.
Yeah. So I figure you're gonna you want to be a grad assistant somewhere and work on your grad school stuff and continue coaching, huh?
Yeah.
What's the goal? Do you want to coach at like this level, high school level?
I like to just coach at the college level, just because they're just more developed and everything. Like, they understand the game more. It's not so much of teaching. It's just so much of like game planning, everything like that. High school, I feel like it's more of like you have to teach technique and everything else more. So I just feel like at the college level, it's like you're still teaching technique, but it's just you can go more in depth.
Yeah, the blueprint's already there for the most part. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I'd say you get to recruit. High school coaching. I did that for 3 years, and it's fun, and it's very. It's just very different than at the college level, because we get to recruit that young man to fit our needs, whether it's defensively or offensively. At the high school level, you might have to change your offense or defense because
of what you got.
That's what you got.
Yeah. Well, recruits come in. You had a recruit coming in that wanted to play at Tiffin University or was thinking about Tiffin University. Sell them. Tell them. What are you telling those kids and why they should come to Tiffin University?
I mean, it depends on what position they play. If they're playing receiver, running back, anything like that, you're going to get the ball in your hands.
You just say air raid offense?
Oh, absolutely.
Just say air raid offense. Every receiver we have on here, Dan says air raid offense. So.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's just, even if they're a running back, anything like that, they're going to find a way to get on the ball. Defense, I think the defense is phenomenal this year. They've been playing really well. Coach Durr has done awesome, and that's the same thing. I would agree. The program's turning around completely, and that's what I would really sell to them.
Well, the defense, last year was towards the end of the bottom of the GLIAC standings, and they're right in the middle right now. So, I mean, that's a huge jump up in one season from where they were to where they are now. I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. Some of those new kids that came in on the defensive side have played a big dividends. But this past week, the defense had a really nice game as well. Antonio Etter led your team with 10 tackles, and him and Brandon Persons and Pribble, those three young men who transferred in, made a big difference on this football team.
Oh, no, and right away, we got those guys at mid-year a year ago. And then with, again, Stephon Willis, another true freshman who's playing lights out right now. It's just I think our facilities I think our coaching staff and the type of young men we're recruiting to help us build this program. You know, I think if somebody's looking to go somewhere and have a chance to play on an up-and-coming program, be a part of something special, and have a blast playing, I think Tiffin University is definitely a place for them to take a look at.
Absolutely. You can travel from near or far to get here. You can even come from Virginia Beach if you want to be a Tiffin University Dragon. As Dan, do you get a chance to get home very often? Because I know a lot of you guys stayed here over the summer. Do you get a chance to get home very often?
Yeah, I mean, I go home for during the summer. I'll go home for like maybe a week or something like that, and then I'll come back for the rest of the summer, and then like Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff like that. So I get home.
What is that, about 8 hours, 9 hours?
Yeah, it's like 9 or 10.
Is it?
Yeah,
it's not too bad.
Decent little haul, but you're a Dragon right now, and that's all that's important to us, right? So, your family get a chance to check the games out online or anything, listen to them online or anything?
Yeah,
Good.
my parents watch all the time. They're actually going to come up to this game.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
well, make sure you give them our best.
I can't wait to meet Mr. Pitt.
Yeah, no doubt. You're right.
I've got a lot of stories on Dan. I want to know where they come from.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Dan, what do you need to do this weekend to make sure your team can get this victory in the last week of the regular season? Send your seniors out on a high note.
I think the biggest thing is just no turnovers and just sticking with the game plan. I think we have a really good game plan going in right now. It's almost finalized, and just sticking with it. Don't try to get out of our elements, trying to do too much or anything like that. I just feel like we should be okay.
Well, you take care of the ball and do as Coach always says. Don't make it about what Lake Erie does on the field. Make sure it's about what the Tiffin University Dragons do on the field.
Exactly.
All right, Coach, you got anything else for Dan?
No, Dan's been a pleasure to coach. He's a lot of fun to have around, you know, and I hope we can help him and then have him assist us in coaching for the next couple of years, because I do think he's got a great knowledge of the game, as most quarterbacks should. You know, and he's got the personality where he can coach. If he wants to do it, he can make a career out of that, because he's got enough you know, bark to him to where he's going to get the guys going and get them to do something. And you know, quite honestly, you know, the entire offense right now is looking up to him, and you know, they'll listen to him. And it's been fun to watch him kind of move over to that position, because even during in between plays, he's over there with his offensive line telling them, hey guys, hey, keep it up, you're doing a good job, or hey, we need to make sure we pick that blitz up. I mean, that's what it's all about. And you know, he's a lot of fun to be around and a great person. So I haven't met his family, so I'm looking forward to them coming here this weekend and you know, chatting with them a little bit. Yeah,
Dan, you've done a great job. Once you got in the starting lineup, continue the great work and continued success, and go get him this Friday or Saturday. And thank you so much for joining us here on the Gary Goff Show. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I remember, Coach, one of the first bus trips, I was like, who is that goofy guy? That's Dan Pitts. Yep.
Well, he's a surfer. He wears his Vans. I mean, he's got his own style.
Well, our program tonight was brought to you by Tiffin Ace Hardware, the Animal Hospital of Tiffin, CF Professionals Incorporated, Gary Gruse's office, the Ohio Mutual Insurance Group, Jim Kennedy's office, State Farm Insurance, Ed Lape's office, and Steyer Seeds. Final game of the regular season this Saturday, 1:30 kickoff at Frost County Stadium. Our coverage begins at 1 o'clock on our sister station, Coach Country 100.9 WMJK. For Dan Pitts and for Marcus Bierum, I'm Russ Snyder, saying thank you so much for joining us tonight. He's Coach Gary Goff. Coach, thank you so much. Let's do it again next week.
Thank you.
All right, that's it for tonight. Thank you all for joining us on the Tiffin University Football Dragon Radio Network.